Fox Sports.
We are sports. We are Sun.
Yankee Stadium has been a house of horrors for the Rays this year, dropping 8 of 9 games in the Bronx. And tonight, right-hander Jake Faria has the task of taming Aaron Judge and the New York offense as Tampa Bay closes out the 2017 road campaign. Tonight we welcome you to New York and the Bronx, so named after the 17th century Dutch immigrant Jonas Bronx. We are at Yankee Stadium for the wrap-up game of this series between the Rays and the New York Yankees. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to an evening of Rays baseball with Brian Anderson, Dwayne Stats. Great to have you aboard. Alex Cordery will be joining us throughout the evening as well. Lovely night for baseball here, and the Rays are going to try to find some offense. They've been limited to just 2 runs in this series so far. Runs have been an issue really since, if you go back to the 18th of July, this team has averaged almost a run and a half fewer than they did in the first half. But you wouldn't know that if you talked with Aini Echeverria.
Listen, Adeiny Echeverria in the second half has swung the bat very, very well, and I'm going to tell you something. He's one guy for the Rays that you know doesn't want the season to end. But if you just go back over his last 13 games, that takes you back to September the 11th. The average very good on-base percentage above 350, 7 extra base hits, 3 of them have left the yard as far as home runs go, 8 runs driven in, and how about the 604 slugging percentage? Over this time frame, that is the best on the team by far. Next closest is just 482, and guess what? All the while that he's swinging the bat well, he continues to play gold glove caliber defense. He shows you how it's done, and when you talk about his instincts out there at the shortstop position, how smooth he is and how consistent he is, he's getting it done here in the second half.
Well, we talk about offense and defense, but the pitching matchup tonight could be very interesting, and Jake Faria will be on the hill for the Rays as they continue to look for good things looking forward out of this young right-hander.
Yeah, for Jake Faria, this is his first start since August the 16th. That was against the Toronto Blue Jays. But I'll tell you what, how about the flashy start that he had to this team early June? He comes out, he goes 4-0 in his first 7 starts with an ERA of 2. He's settled in at this point at a 5-4 record, 3.32 earned run average as a starter, and you gotta love his repeatable delivery, no wasted movement. He attacks the strike zone, good fastball, good changeup, slider to go along with it. Sonny Gray, another guy that has very good stuff, and he was a big trade acquisition for the New York Yankees. And what he's done with them, you kind of ignore the record just a little bit. He's had some bad luck. 10 starts with the Yankees, not a lot of run support. He's given up 2 earned runs or fewer in 8 of the 10. That's usually good enough to win. Hasn't been the case, but this is still a guy that can go out and dominate any given night.
Rays last faced him on the 12th of September, coming away with a 2-1 win in that. Rays and the Yankees coming up just moments away. Rays 6-12 against New York in the season series. We welcome you back to Yankee Stadium tonight. The Rays and the Yankees. For the Rays, their final road game before they head home to wrap up the regular season at Tropicana Field beginning tomorrow night against the Baltimore Orioles. But tonight the Rays will square off once again against the New York Yankees. And tonight's lineup, presented by your Southern Ford dealers, will find Malik Smith in the leadoff spot. He's at right field, followed by Corey Dickerson, who is the DH tonight, hitting third, playing third base. Evan Longoria, Lucas Duda, the cleanup man. He'll be at first base, followed by the catcher Wilson Ramos. Adeiny Echeverria at shortstop, hitting seventh and playing second base is Daniel Robertson. Cesar Puello will be in left tonight, hitting eighth, and the number 9 hitter in center field is Peter Borges.
Well, taking the mound tonight for the New York Yankees going to be right-hander Sonny Gray, making his 27th start of the season, his 11th as a member of the New York Yankees, and looking to even up the overall record of 10-11. ERA, though, very good at 3.31 in 157 2/3 innings. Let's take a look at the Yankee defense and see how that's going to line up here tonight. Brought to you by Golden Diamond Source. And in the outfield, left to right, we have Brett Gardner, Jacoby Ellsbury, and Aaron Judge. Across the infield, third to first, Todd Frazier, Didi Gregorius, Starlin Castro, and Greg Bird. Gary Sanchez will line up behind the plate.
There's the manager of the New York Yankees, Joe Girardi, in his 10th season managing this ball club. Coming in with a mark of 89 and 69. Over 900 wins in the 10 seasons. The only current manager to lead his team to winning records in each of the last 10 years. And for the Rays, Kevin Cash, about to wrap up his 3rd season as the manager of the Rays. Rays coming in 76 and 82. And Malik Smith all set to face Sonny Gray. Gray's 27th start, his 11th in a New York uniform. So Malik Smith about to step in, hitting .263 on the year. Gray's all set. Here we go. First pitch is a strike call. Fastball. Jerry Lane calling the balls and strikes. And now Smith is down in the count, 0-2.
Now, how about those two versions of the fastball? You get 95 up in the zone, and then all of a sudden he comes with 92. And did you see that arm side run? Also slider, curveball, a very good changeup. Throws a lot at you.
Yeah, and all of them can be in play. And just like that, 3 pitches, and Malik Smith is out on strikes.
Boy, how about that? You show a guy a fastball that doesn't have a ton of movement, and then the next 2 take off like this. Wow, did not have a chance. Great execution by Sonny Gray.
Yeah, that's changeup like movement there, only at 91.
That's good luck. You know what you have to do with that pitch, though? Is it one of those pitches that you pick up that 2-seam spin? You hope for a take. You hope for a take, because if he's getting you to commit after that pitch, it's going to be a long night.
It's Corey Dickerson. He shoots this one deep into right field, and that one is out of here, up into the second deck and back down onto the field. Dickerson wasting no time going after that one and belting his 27th home run of the year. So the Rays do break out in front early tonight.
Well, I'm sure that that's a mindset by Corey Dickerson. He's been getting beat with fastballs. Guys are challenging him with fastballs, and so he's saying, you know what, I'm going to be quick tonight. And that's exactly what he was. Quick to the fastball, not going to let this one get by me. And he crushed it.
He's now 4 for 15 against Gray. 2 of those hits home runs. And the pitch to Longoria is upstairs. 1 ball, no strikes. So the Rays with an early lead, 222 home runs for the club now. Evan fouls it. Longoria, 10 of 29 in his career against Gray, 4 doubles and now 2 home runs. 1-1 the count. Longoria looking for a home run. He has 19 lines to left this time. Evan trying to get to 20 before the year is out. Two gone with a run home, and the hitter will be Lucas Duda.
Well, the home run ball is what did Sonny Gray in the last time he faced the Rays. That was over at Citi Field. Complete game for him. 2 earned runs. He gave up 2 solo shots. That one into Adeiny Echeverria late in that game, bottom of the 8th inning, was the difference.
Pitch is up. 1 ball, no strikes. Yeah, he gave up just 5 hits, but those 2 home runs, and the Rays beat him 2-1. Two balls, no strikes. The pitch misses down. You know, the home run by Dickerson on the first pitch, the 7th home run Gray has given up on the first pitch. He's given up 7 home runs on the first pitch of an at-bat and 4 coming on a 2-1 count. And that's 11 of the 18 home runs he's given up.
Well,
and there's ball 4.
He's one of those guys that, just like with Malik Smith, he wants to establish 4-seam fastball strike 1 and then start going with the stuff that's going to have a little bit more movement. And hitters are well aware of this. And so if he's going to attack 4-seamer out over the plate, that gives him a great chance to take a big rip and see what happens. And it's bit Sonny Gray a number of times this year.
Now Wilson Ramos. He is finishing this season red hot at the plate. Robbed of a grand slam here in the first game of this series on Tuesday. He has a couple hits and 8 at bats against Gray. One of those a double. Duda at first. One ball, 1 strike.
Just watch his setup. Watch how quiet he is staying at the plate. You know, he's not a guy that has a lot of excess movement. He gets his batting stance and he's pretty stoic until he starts his load. And I think that finally, as he's gotten into the flow of this season, albeit a little bit late because of the late start that he had, he's starting to trust all of the work that he's put in to get to this point. And he just doesn't waste a lot of movement, like one of those pitchers with a repeatable delivery.
1-2 on the foul ball.
Much like his pitcher tonight, Jake Faria, another guy, not a lot of wasted movement on the other end of things.
Yeah, not a lot of break down in either the approach at the plate for Ramos or Faria. We are in the last 11 games hitting .432.
It should be 5-16 instead of 4-13.
He's quiet and then quick and strong to the ball. That's how we've seen him hit a couple of balls to the opposite field that just had tremendous carry on them.
And then it hit that he didn't even really get into. And there was one at Tropicana Field that really stands out. He just seemingly slapped it that way and got the ball out. Testament to his strength.
It's a 2-2 count. Gray's been averaging a little over 16 pitches an inning this year. 16 right now here in the first. Ground ball toward the middle, and that's scooped at second. Castro stepping on the bag for the force play. Rays break out in front on a first pitch home run off the bat of Corey Dickerson. And we go to the bottom of the first, a 1-0 game. Back at Yankee Stadium, we move into the bottom of the first. The Rays with a 1-0 lead. Take a quick look at the starting lineup for New York tonight, presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Brett Gardner will lead it off, followed by Aaron Judge, and then Gary Sanchez. Didi Gregorius in the cleanup spot, followed by Starlin Castro. And then Greg Bird hits sixth, followed by Chase Headley, Jacoby Ellsbury, and Todd Frazier, with Jake Faria on the hill for the Rays.
That's absolutely right. He'll be making his 14th start of the season. It's his first since August the 16th. Had a couple of appearances out of the bullpen since coming off the disabled list, and here gets to make his final start of 2017.
So he faces Gardner to start the bottom of the first. And that first pitch is in there, a strike call by Jerry Lane. It's a real key for Faria. 16th appearance overall for Jake. He's made a couple bullpen appearances. And a shot to right field, and that's going to carry out of here. And just like that, this game is tied. So Gardner hits his 21st home run of the year, and it's 1-1.
Tell you, Dwayne, what did we talk about before this series started? And that was, you'd better come ready to play this Yankee ball club over these 3 games with what is at stake for them. And this is a pitch, it was a changeup, and he missed it down and in. That ball didn't have a lot of finish to it. Stayed right on that inside edge, and Brett Gardner, quick with the swing, gets the barrel to it, ties this game up, and it didn't take that long.
Yeah, and under normal circumstances, that split change, a very big pitch for Jake Faria. And Gardner hits one out. Now here's Aaron Judge taking the pitch down and away. 1 ball, no strikes.
Boy, that was one of those pitches, too, where that was the worst place you could have thrown it. You know, he's trying to throw that down and away, of course, but in, and it didn't even have any life to it. It just kind of floated in there. Very unlike a normal Faria changeup, and right into Brett Gardner's wheelhouse.
1-1 to count to Judge. That's the 5th leadoff home run this season for Gardner. So 5 of his 21 home runs have been leadoff shots. Now it's 2-1 to Judge. And the Yankees don't mind keeping a little pressure on Boston. Just 4 games left to play. They started the day 3 back. 2-2.
And remember, Boston is dealing with the Houston Astros.
Yep.
And the Cleveland Indians already won today, so that puts pressure on the Astros to win, to stay 1 game behind them in the race for the best record. So you're going to get an Astro team going all out.
Well, the Indians with 100 wins now, in Houston with 98 going into play tonight. 2-2 to Judge. And he hits a high fly ball to right field. Smith will go to the wall, and this one will get out of here. An opposite field home run, number 51 for Aaron Judge. And just like that, it's 2-1.
I'll tell you what, I don't want to say that that was a miss-hit, but that was a miss-hit. That's the kind of power this guy has. This is a towering fly ball. He got inside of it, and it carries not just out, but into that second deck, down that short porch in right field.
You know, we talked the other day about where he hits his home runs. They're all over the place. He's strong enough to hit them out anywhere, but he'll go foul pole to foul pole and all points in between. This one out to right. Now Sanchez out after that one, a cut and a miss. So back-to-back home runs from Gardner and Judge. Upstairs 1-1. So Faria, who had given up 9 home runs over 15 appearances, 13 starts, touch for back-to-back homers to begin this one. One and two. Is down. This is only the 2nd time this year that Faria has given up more than 1 home run in a single outing. The Orioles got him back near the end of June at the Trop. Castillo and Jones hit home runs off him in 6 innings against the Orioles on June the 24th. Roberts right there for this one, and he makes the catch, the play. So Robertson to Duda, and Sanchez is out number 1.
And it was so unfortunate, you know, the way that Jake Faria, gets called up in early June, and the first 7 starts he goes 4-0 with a 2, and went at least 6 innings in all 7 starts, and then of course you're going to have a couple of starts where things don't go that well, but still putting together a solid season, and then ends up on the disabled list with that strained abdominal muscle, and has only had 2 appearances out of the bullpen since coming off. Really threw a wrench into his season, which was turning out to be a surprisingly positive for the Rays. Obviously he figures to be a big part of the future.
1-0 the count to Didi Gregorius. 1 out, 2 runs in on the solo home runs. Gregorius lifts it toward the line and left. Puello is there for this one to make the catch. So 2 gone.
Well, let's take a quick look
at the Rays defense, brought to you by our friends at Gold and Diamond Source. And in the outfield, left to right, we have Cesar Puello, Peter Borges, and Malik Smith. Across the infield, third to first, Evan Longoria, Adeiny Echeverria, Daniel Robertson, and Lucas Duda, with Wilson Ramos behind the plate.
Now Starlin Castro. Castro, 2 home runs already in this series. One last night. He also hit one here on Tuesday. Takes the pitch too low. 1-0. Yankees opening this game with back-to-back home runs. First time they've done that since 2012 against Minnesota.
Ironically enough, that's who they may be facing in that wild card game. Provided they don't win the division, that's who they will be facing.
Now 2 balls and a strike. How about the Astros jumping out to that 3-0 lead at Fenway?
They're going to try to keep pace with Cleveland. They want that home field advantage as bad as anybody. And right now it's come down to them and the Indians. And the Indians 1.5 games up on them right now. How did you see the Carlos Carrasco, what he did this afternoon in their ball game against the Twins? 14 strikeouts.
It's a fastball a little bit inside there for ball 4. So Castro walks with 2 gone here in the first inning. And Greg Bird, the first baseman. Well, I think right now, speaking of that Cleveland ball club, I mean, most people following that team and exposed to that club and even watching them from afar, the consensus would be they are the team to deal with right now. I mean, they are a very good team.
Where would their weakness be? And you'd be hard pressed to find one.
It would be. You know, you might. The pitch is down. I mean, you hesitate to get into particular parts. I mean, some people are concerned maybe about the bullpen, but they've got options there. It's been good for them. And as opposed to a year ago, compared to a year ago, they're very healthy right now. Into the dirt, blocked by Ramos.
Well, they've got 2 guys. You're going to run out Kluber and Carrasco, who this season have, what is it? Both of them have at least 18 wins and over 220 strikeouts. They're the 6th group to do that, combo to do that in the history of the game. And so you've got guys that can take over a ball game. You've got Mr. Do-It-All Andrew Miller, along with the rest of a pretty deep bullpen. Maybe not as top-notch as the Yankees, but it's pretty close.
Well, you know, that's an interesting thought, too. That's out of play. Because as we mentioned, some people might talk about their bullpen as not having that lights-out very end of the game. And you think, well, the Yankees do here. But what they've seen recently out of both Chapman and Betances, I mean, they have sort of have their secret weapon, Chad Green, in reserve. So they've got a lot of ways to go. But, you know, that might be an interesting discussion in the postseason as well, comparing bullpens. As high octane and as deep as these teams can be.
And with Cleveland, of course, you're talking about Cody Allen. You know, he doesn't have the resume, the name recognition of maybe a lot of you know, closers. He's been good for the Indians, but you're right. The name doesn't jump out at you like some of these other guys. Doesn't mean he can't, you know, obviously get the job done, of course, but
and it very well could turn around that he does.
Yeah.
And these other guys with bigger name recognition and, in a way, bigger arms might not. I mean, just from what we've seen.
Yeah, I mean, as a unit, you know, listen, you think about bullpens and how important they are in the postseason, because your managers are not going to stick with the starter that long if there's any sign of a struggle. They come out, bullpen comes in, and you better have some depth and quality depth, or you'll be out quick.
There's a fastball up, and Bird swings under it. 2 runs on back-to-back home runs for New York. 2-0, 2-1 at the end of 1. Sports Sun brought to you by your local Ford dealers and by Toyota. Let's go places. Danny Echeverria will lead it off for the Rays in the second. Echeverria, Robertson, and Puello. Pitch is a strike. Echeverria with 7 home runs in a Rays uniform, including one last night. Ground ball to third, grabbed by Frazier. Right across to Bird. So a ground out, 1 away. Now Daniel Robertson. Robertson getting a start at second base tonight. First pitch is a strike. Rays facing Sonny Gray. And this one gets Sanchez. Ball deflects toward the dugout. And Steve Donahue, the Yankee trainer, quickly out of the dugout along with Joe Girardi.
Breaking ball in the dirt up high and right off that lower part of the mass there. Got that neck protector. May not have gotten the entire baseball.
So a jarring development in any case, but it appears to be okay. Couple more looks at this.
Oh, it got up underneath. It got right up underneath that little protector, throat protector, and glanced right off the side of his neck.
Boy, if there's a spot left unprotected, the baseball is somehow going to find it. It did right there.
How true is that?
You sure you want to be a catcher?
Hey, listen.
Strike two to Robertson. Very 4-6 for the Yankees over 10 prior starts, and a .312 earned run mark for them. Coming off an outing, the 6-inning outing against the Blue Jays in Toronto, and he got the win, gave up a run on 4 hits. Full count now. Trade from Oakland came at the end of July. See Puello on deck right there. And Robertson, did he go? He did not. That's a walk.
That's a
check there by Lane with the first base umpire Marvin Hudson. Said he held up.
And he did hold up, but that's a bad walk by Sonny Gray. He got Daniel Robertson out there and then really didn't even threaten the strike zone after that. And Robertson able to pick up that walk.
Second walk given up by Gray. Now Cesar Puello comes in. He's 5 of 28 this year in the big leagues. To strike.
Well, Puello's playing time has been limited. You know, when you think about his opportunities on this team, you think immediately left-handed pitching. And so he draws a pretty tough assignment here tonight. Hasn't faced a whole lot of righties. And then the first one you're going to face in a while is Sonny Gray.
Just quickly behind him. 0-2.
A couple of nasty darting sinkers.
How difficult it is not to play every day and then face a guy like this.
And on top of that, you've been facing lefties.
Yep.
I mean, he may have a handful of at-bats against righties, but it's extremely difficult. That's why get this first at-bat out of the way and go from there.
Blocked by Sanchez. Now 1-2. 1 on with 1 out.
He's a right-handed pitcher too, who gives you a whole lot to think about. 4-seam, 2-seam, slider, a curveball, changeup.
Keeping an eye on Robertson. Been a tough year for the Rays here in Yankee Stadium. They won only 1 game in the season series. 1-8 here and 6-12 overall against New York. 2-2. Well, the Yankees have done a pretty remarkable job. You touched on it earlier in the series of this turnaround, the transition of this team. And suddenly it's a team that appeared to be getting old. Now it's young. They have some depth. There's a shot down the left field line, but it's going to be a foul ball. He had home run distance but foul.
Puello said, "You're not going to beat me in there again." First 2 strikes, sinkers in. That ball comes running in, and fortunately for Sonny Gray, it ran just enough because Puello destroyed that baseball, just couldn't keep it fair. I doubt you're going to see anything in there on this pitch.
Not on purpose.
No. Yeah, Gary Sanchez already to that outside corner.
And now the count's full. So Gray, after being ahead, goes 3-2 on Puello. Same way with Robertson. He walked him. And ball 4. So back-to-back walks. 3 walks already issued by Gray. That equals the number he gave to the Blue Jays in 6 innings in his last outing. And just 1 off his single game high of 4.
That's another bad walk, too. He got up on Puello 0-2. 2 big swings and misses. And then outside of the foul ball, never really threatened that strike zone again. And you're talking about 7-8 in the lineup, and you're just handing the Rays base runners. Take advantage.
It's Peter Borges. The pitch is low, and it's blocked by Sanchez.
That's the pitch that really has not come around yet. He's gone to it a number of times, that breaking ball, and he has been well short on most of them. Starting to pick, starting to aim, starting to try to be too fine. That's when you get yourself into trouble.
1-0 count to Borges. And he fouls it. He went after a fastball. Fastball mid-90s, but up. You can see it a little bit high. One and one. Two and one the count. Couple of walks giving the Rays an opportunity. They are down 2-1. Now 3 balls and a strike.
Another breaking ball that was well wide of the zone and in the dirt. He just has not been able to, whether it's whatever breaking ball he goes with, he just does not. Right now it's been the 2-seamer. Breaking ball hasn't been good. Really haven't seen the changeup.
So it's 3 balls and a strike to count to Borges. Robertson second, Puello first. And a liner into right field that will be caught by Aaron Judge, and the runners remain at first and second. It's a big out there for Gray. And we'll get back around to the top of the Rays lineup. Malik Smith. Smith struck out on 3 pitches to start the game, ahead of the first pitch home run struck by Corey Dickerson. So Malik Smith trying to keep this inning going. See if the Rays can take advantage of the 2 bases on balls. Pitch taken high. Tapper foul.
I'd like to see this Rays lineup cash in, not allow Sonny Gray to start to find the mark with the breaking ball. Right now, that is not a pitch that's worked out for him at all. The changeup has been really non-existent. He's been a one-trick pony with the fastball.
There's a base hit into short left. Charged by Gardner. Runner's going to try to score. Throw to the plate is in time. Gardner throws out Robertson on the base hit into short left. That is out number 3. Gardner to Sanchez. The Rays denied the tying run by Brett Gardner. 2-1 New York.
Rays manager Kevin Cash said these final games of the season, you would see a lot of younger players getting the opportunity to start. Of course, tonight we see Daniel Robertson, Cesar Puello, Malik Smith all in the lineup, and Jake Faria is on the mound. The right-hander spent some time on the disabled list from August 20th to September 16th. When he came off the shelf, he worked out of the bullpen. He said he was hoping for this opportunity to make one final start of the regular season. You almost wonder if he came into tonight a little bit too excited. Of course, he's put together such a solid rookie season. And B.A. Dwayne, he knows nothing is guaranteed. Dwayne.
Well, there's a shot back into right field on the track. Smith is there to make the catch. And Headley is the first out in the bottom of the second inning. Well, the Rays really look toward next year with Faria in mind to be a significant part of their rotation. Any way you look at it, he's going to figure somewhere in there. One of the configurations had him as a number 5, but the way he impressed early, wouldn't surprise you if he moved up that chain a bit. And here he is making a start after a couple of appearances out of the bullpen. Just to round out this season. Pitch is up to Jacoby Ellsbury. Want to know, Ellsbury has had a great month and was named the Yankee Player of the Month. I'll tell you, look at this lineup, and you win that award on this team. You have to have a good month.
Well, that's with Aaron Judge coming in with 13 homers, his most of any single month of the season. Had 27 driven in. He's having a tremendous month. A lot of different guys chipping in, but Ellsbury did win that award tonight.
And he shoots a base hit past Duda into right.
When you heard the laundry list of what he had done in September, you know, batting average good, extra base hits, he's done a nice job. He scored a bunch of runs. The on-base percentage was good. Just really getting it done in a more limited role that we've been used to seeing him in.
Yeah, he hit 347 for the month. So there you go for September. And he's on again. Base hit his first time up. Here's Todd Frazier. One ball, no strikes. There's the number 9 hitter in this lineup. He's hit a total of 27 home runs this year. Todd Frazier, and he's hitting 9th. This one off the mid of Ramos. Down to second goes Ellsbury.
We got to believe that's going to be a pass ball. And not the perfect location for Faria, but that's a ball that's got to be handled by Wilson Ramos, and it costs the Rays 90 feet. See where he's set up, just reaching back in and right off the edge.
Faria behind Frazier. Now it's upstairs, 3-0. Frazier 0 for 3 against Faria with a couple of strikeouts and a couple of walks in that mix. Way up now, 3-0. 3-1. Now we're full. Big swing. Just a little bit of that one on the fastball. I'm not sure Frazier takes any other kind of swing other than a big swing.
No. And that's why you get that combination of the average not very high, but a lot of power and production, the 27 home runs. That's league wide anymore.
Lines it into left center field for a base hit. Whale makes the pickup as Ellsbury scores, and it's 3-1. Frazier's 76th run batted into the year, 32nd in a New York uniform.
Finally got a fastball there up in the zone. Didn't take as big a swing. And just look at him, just getting the barrel up there to the baseball. And he finds some room to maneuver out there in left center field, and that pass ball, at least as of right now, has come back to haunt the Rays as that third run scores.
So Frazier's at first. Now the top of the order. Brett Gardner, who homered his first time up. A ball, no strikes.
Boy, you got to believe, what Jake Faria is going through here tonight. A little bit of rust. The DL stint, couple of relief appearances. First one came on the 16th of September, then not until 8 days later on the 24th. So it's not like he's had a ton of regular work or regular innings for that matter.
Two and 0. Jim Hickey already on the telephone. Some stirring in the bullpen. 2-1. Rays into the bullpen very early here Tuesday. Blake Snell worked 1 inning plus and a parade of Rays pitchers. 6 followed Snell out of the Rays bullpen on Tuesday. The Rays used 4 out of the bullpen last night after Matt Andriese pitched 5 innings plus. Into the dirt. Now a move up, the throw down, and he is out at second base. Ramos recovered that ball and threw a strike to the bag at second, and Echeverria put the tag on Frazier.
Boy, a no-look spinning throw by Wilson Ramos. He popped up out of that crouch, attacked that baseball, spun and threw all in one motion. You couldn't have thrown it any better. He threw it right into the slide. That is pretty. And he is out.
So 2 gone. Frazier cut down, trying to advance.
Boy.
And now ball 4 to Gardner. So he's on for the second time. Second walk issued by Faria.
Yeah, we're going to get a chance to see that throw again by Ramos. And watch how he really doesn't even pick up Echeverria. He's just throwing to a spot where he knows second base is. I mean, you talk about turn and just throwing. That is impressive.
Here's Aaron Judge. Strike 1. Judge homered in the first, his 51st home run of the year. Leads the American League in homers, second in the majors. There's a strike. Takes the count to 0-2. There's 32 home runs here at Yankee Stadium. Who is up in the bullpen? And a towering fly ball right center. Borges waits for this one and makes the catch. A run, 2 hits and a man left. 3-1 New York through 2. We go. The Rays will have Corey Dickerson to lead off. Join the Rays in supporting those affected by Hurricanes Irma and Maria. When our neighbors are in need, we can step up to make a difference. Donate at youcaring.com/Rays Hurricane Relief. Dickerson, Longoria, and Duda coming up. Well, the home run for Dickerson in the first. Off the first pitch he saw, his 27th home run of the year. Taps this one by the mound, picked up by Castro. One gone in the third. Well, now Evan Longoria. Evan lined to left his first time. He's had some good numbers in his career against the Yankees. Looking for his first hit in this series. Pitch is a strike. 10 of 30 in his career against Sonny Gray. Having a home run short of his 5th consecutive season with at least 20 home runs, and trying to do that in 9 of his first 10 seasons in the major leagues. This one lifted into center, and Ellsbury will come in and wait and make the catch.
I think that's what he had in mind with that swing. He got that breaking ball down in the zone, and boy, did he take a big hack uppercut. Just got underneath it a little too much.
Well, Lucas Duda is up with 2 outs and the bases empty.
And see, that's the last thing you want to do is have Sonny Gray, and he just retired Evan Longoria on that breaking ball. He struggled with that pitch mightily the first 2 innings.
Yeah, you hate to give him time to do this.
Yeah, now he's starting to find the range.
Upstairs with a fastball, 1-1. He'll do to 30 home runs on the year. 13 with the Rays and 17 with New York, with the New York Mets. And for the most part, we talk about the Rays and a lot of clubs now, their offense, home run, strikeout, walk. And for Duda, it's been home run, occasional double, and that's his approach so far.
That's it. You know, he's got a big uppercut swing, a lot of leverage. You know how high those hands are, and he wants to drop, lift, and carry that ball out.
Let's forget about singles, no triples, just home runs and an occasional double.
What's a single?
Yeah.
You know, it used to be, well, not used to be, it is now, that strikeouts don't matter anymore. Nobody cares about them.
Yep.
And singles pretty soon are going to be 90 feet.
Why would you want one of those?
No. Go two bagger, 4-bagger.
And he draws a walk here with 2 outs.
And a walk, that's just a waste of everybody's time.
Yeah, what are you doing with that?
It's just a prolonged single.
Yes, you just took a pitch to get a single. When you could put a big swing on it, you might hit a home run. So here we go. Hey, there's Alex Cobb. We'll be chatting with Alex in the bottom of the inning. So Ramos fouls it. Wilson Ramos 0 for 1. 1 strike. So we'll have Alex Cobb on in the bottom of the third. The tapper grabbed by Gray. And the lob toss to first. Ramos out of there. Rays leave a man. We'll chat with Alex Cobb when we return. It's a 3-1 ball game. New York leading with Jake Faria on the hill for the Rays, and on headset from the dugout is Alex Cobb. And Alex, thank you for spending a little time with us here in the bottom of the third inning. First, congratulations. It's a long way back from Tommy John surgery, and to go out there for 29 starts, have 12 wins. We're all of us here just thrilled for you, and congratulations on that.
Thank you so much. I mean, definitely wasn't an easy battle. You know, you think back to the day you heard you're going to probably need to have the surgery and all that went into it from that point on. It's got to say it was a pretty nice feeling walking off the mound for the last time in Baltimore. Wishing I had another opportunity to keep this thing going, but you know, unfortunately wasn't in the cards for us this year.
Well, I think all of those starts and the innings build up. You'll take that and build going forward on that, regardless of where this game will take you. But I think I think you've earned to take
some time off.
Take a start off here.
Yes.
There's a TV room in here in the locker room, and I don't think I've seen the light of day for stop, just stop. It's a tired act. We don't need it.
Here we go.
That's one of the reasons he's our favorite guy.
He's
one
your
of our
favorite guy.
Guys.
That guy, Steven Souza.
No. The guy shut him down.
I
okay.
like that.
Good.
Hey, Alex, I got to ask you this. I think one of the more fascinating things that I have seen up here is your ability and willingness to completely reinvent your style of pitching on the fly at the big league level, where it was fastball, split change kind of carried the day for you. And then all of a sudden this year, realizing that pitch wasn't where you wanted it to be, you became fastball, curveball guy, and did that, like I said, on the fly to great success. That was just fascinating. Take us through how you were able to do that.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it because it wasn't fun. You know, I was trying the whole season to get that thing back, but I realized early on in the season that I can have success with those 2 pitches and those 2 pitches alone. And the other thing I noticed was every time I tried to bring that changeup into the game, it was getting whacked, and that's where all my real troubles were stemming from. And so it's not that I gave up on the pitch trying to get the pitch going, but I got to a point where I realized, I can still have success just with these 2 pitches, and I need to go ahead and do whatever it takes to win ball games right now. So we'll go ahead and do with what go out there with what's working and work on everything else later on. And it just got to a point probably about halfway through the season where I was like, okay, this is what I'm having success with. I'm going 100% all in.
Well,
away.
And that's what really was fun to watch, at least, like I said, from up here, is the ability for you to be able to command the fastball around the strike zone, but also command that breaking ball. Mm-hmm. And you said something interesting right there, because we see that from sitting up here. You going out there with the idea of, I am going to do whatever it takes on any given night to win the game. Talk about that mindset and what you're thinking about when you go into a start, because there are a lot of guys that if they don't get off to a good start in a ball game, then it kind of unravels on them, where you're saying, hey, listen, if I got to win 7-6, I'll win 7-6, and I'll win 2-1 too.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing about this game is how much we dive into our own personal numbers and how much we rely on our numbers to keep us in the big leagues or get us paid while we're in the big leagues. And when I was early in my career, I got wrapped up in that, and I realized probably a couple years in that if you go out there and you win ball games and that's all you care about going into the game, everything else is going to take care of itself. Because if you win the game, you're going to have a job, and if you win games, you're going to get paid. So you win games, you're going to have your team in a position to make a postseason approach in September, and so it just puts your mind at ease when you make it real simple like that. The goal of this game, since the day we put on spikes for the first time in Little League, was to go out and win the game, and I've tried to get rid of all the outside noise and focus on winning the game, and know that if I do that and I take care of the business that way, I'm going to put myself in a good position, and more important, I'm going to put the team in a better position to have a chance at hopefully playing into October. It didn't pan out for us like that this year, unfortunately.
And there's a swing and a miss by Castillo, 2 outs and 2 on the count on the Yankees second baseman. Excuse me for sounding like a grumpy old man, but for a moment I had to check the calendar to see if this is really 2017, hearing what you had to say, and not 1967 or 75 or somewhere in there. Mm-hmm. I think it just makes so much sense, and there's an excitement about that attitude. Winning, however you win, that's what we're all here for. Right.
There's so many stats out there that you can depict a player and find a flaw in a player, or whether you like the guy or not, there's so many stats that I don't even know what they mean, that they say, well, this guy can do this. He's got a 5 ERA, but he's really good at doing all this stuff. So, a nice play.
Hey, nice play by Longoria right there to take care of Castro. Alex, thank you for your time, and thanks for your effort out there on the mound. We've certainly appreciated that, and it's been a pleasure getting to know you these years. Thanks again.
Pleasure's all mine, guys. Thank you.
All right, Alex Cobb with us. We are through 3. On to the 4th we go. It's 3-1 New York. school him a little bit down there in the dugout.
Yeah, he was not a big fan of this. He made that known right off the bat. We refer to that as what, a tired act. Love it.
Yeah. Here's Echeverria leading off the fourth, taking a pitch, hanging up a bit inside 1-0. Yeah, he really has been fun, and you know you hate to see anybody go through any kind of injury in this game, and you really did that with him because he was cooking with gas and then came up with that elbow that needed that serious work. This one caught by Bird on a high pop off the bat of Echeverria. And it really has been great to see him come back. And that presence, you know, you just get a sense from that little time we spent with him there of what he can mean to a team and a pitching staff.
Yeah, I thought that, you know, the way that he talked about winning, and that is the bottom line. That's how ultimately you're judged in this ball game. You know, they don't allow you to get into the playoffs because you have good peripheral stats. You get in there because of wins and losses.
Yep, that's what you're here for. Robertson skies this one to center. Ellsbury is there and he makes the catch.
You know, and that's one thing that you know that's what he's all about. That's why you love him. And then to hear him bring that up himself and just say that's, you know, this is the bottom line and this is why we're here. And you know, he's single-minded of purpose, and that's what you need in this game because there's a lot of influences and tugs, and like he said, is referred to as noise outside of you. You've got to keep your eyes on the prize, and that's that big W. And Souza, I guess, on the days you're not pitching.
Cesar Puello. 1-0. See, this is why you put Souza in the lineup every day.
Right.
Keep him out of the dugout. You put him in the lineup. You know, he's down there. He wanted to make a comment about Cobb's mustache. Looks good, by the way.
I like it.
Yeah. 2 balls, no strikes. Yeah, that was a pretty good little exchange down there. I like that.
He never did let up, though. But you know what? Cobb never lost his composure.
And another one skied on the infield. Gregorius from shortstop handles that. 3 up, 3 down, 6 pitches, and we go to the bottom of the 4th. 3-1 New York. Fourth, our cold hard facts brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. And the Rays against the Yankees this year have struggled mightily. 6-12 and averaging just 3.1 runs per game. You know, bullpen numbers pretty good. Starters not exactly what you'd want, but the offense has had Kevin Cash scratching his head throughout the year in this season's series. 6-12 against New York.
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, this is going to be one of the teams that you're going to have to deal with for the foreseeable future. You know, we saw in, you know, looking at this Yankee lineup, all the young players you talked about, they got old fast, but they got young and good rather quickly. And of all of their position players that played for them this season, age 25 or younger, they hit 100 home runs. Now, obviously, Aaron Judge is a big part of that, but still, you think about all of those home runs from young guys like that, this team's not going anywhere. And so those numbers have to drastically improve.
Ji-Wei Hu will be the new pitcher in the bottom of the fourth, facing Greg Bird. Bird, Headley, and Ellsbury due up. 4 hits, 3 runs in 3 innings surrendered by Faria. A couple of homers. Struck out 2, walked 2. And there's ball 2 from Hu. This one is skied foul and will head out of play. 58 pitches for Faria tonight. And he departs trailing 3-1. That's a shot back into right center field, all the way to the wall, and this one is going to go. Smith played it all the way to the track and back to the wall and into the stands. Bird's 9th home run of the year. It's 4-1.
Well, it looked like Malik Smith had a good beat on that, but just ran out of room and actually ran into the wall, which prevented any type of a meaningful leap at the wall. I don't know if it would have made a difference. Well, there's the pitch. Bird able to get that ball. Looked like it was towards the end of the bat. And Smith, and you see that wall cuts him off. May not have mattered, but
I want to know the count to Headley. And 1. So the Yankees have had 3 hits, 3 home runs tonight, 4 runs, 3 homers, and 5 hits. That's a strike to Headley. It's 1-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Bird has homered off who is in his 6th stint with the Rays this year. A couple of those were very quick, just up and right back down. Fly ball center field. Borges will drift back a bit and is there and makes the catch. Who was in the game for an inning Sunday in Baltimore. Rays and 7-Eleven bringing a $7.11 ticket to Rays fans. Visit a local participating 7-Eleven store. Pick up a Rays discount coupon for the game this Friday against Baltimore. Keep saving with $5 Budweiser and Bud Light drafts exclusively on the Budweiser porch. Ages 21 and over, please drink responsibly. Raise up. Jacoby Ellsbury. He lifts a fly ball to left. Puello will have to go back and make the catch. Well, Bird hit a fly ball to right that went out for a home run. Headley fly ball to center for the out. Ellsbury fly ball to left for out number 2. And now it's Todd Frazier.
Well, that's where you want those fly balls hit. If you're going to be a guy that is going to be prone to the ball in the air, you think center field 408, left center field's at 399. Make him hit it to the big part of the field.
Frazier takes that pitch for a ball. The RBI single in the second inning made it a 3-1 game. His 76th run batted into the year. One and one. Two and one. Who is behind Frazier? 3 balls and a strike. Ground ball to short. Echeverria picks it up and fires a strike to first. 1-2-3 following the home run. Another run for New York. 4-1 as we go to the 5th. Brought to you by your Southern Chevy dealers and by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. From the Big Apple, we move into the 5th. Braves will have Peter Borges to lead off. And we'll go back around to the top of the order. Malik Smith and Corey Dickerson against Sonny Gray, who had a very economical 4th inning, only 6 pitches. Borges goes after the first one and fouls this one back.
Well, he's been handed a lead, and he has started to dial in with the off-speed pitches to go along with what has been a very good sinker here in the early going. This is what you were afraid of.
It's a little foul ball at the feet of Sanchez on the check swing.
Well, how many times have we seen that? A guy scuffling a little bit early, especially in the second half. Because the first half of the season, a guy scuffling a little bit early, the Rays were going to pin some runs on him.
Yep.
Period. Take early leads, and a lot of them in the first half of the season. Not so much here in the second half. And these guys, they gain their footing and start to dial in a little bit.
Well, that goes back to the numbers we referenced in general at the outset tonight, using July the 18th as a dividing date. Before that, the Rays offense averaged 4.69 runs a game. After that, 3.53. So a little more than one, not quite 1.5 runs per game disappeared after the 18th of July. Charged here by Gregorius, and he gets Borges for the first out in the 5th inning, and that's been the issue, a major issue.
Well, you'll remember that was a few days after, the second half of the season started on July the 14th. And the Rays started out west with the Angels, and then the Oakland A's had a nice road trip. I think they went 4-2 on that trip. And boy, getting back home, feeling good about what they had done out there. And then it did not go so well for this team. And that's really where the slide started.
Well, the Rays got to their high water mark July 18th.
Yeah.
They were 7 games over 500. And you had the feeling that something was cooking there. And then the offense started to slide. And it essentially has been that way since.
It's been a case of the league making adjustments. Kevin Kiermaier hurt, missed a couple of months. We saw what he's been able to do out of that leadoff spot. But the league had made adjustments to a number of the Rays hitters in that lineup that were having tremendous seasons and off to really good starts. And the adjustments made by the Rays hitters a little bit slow in coming, and opposing pitchers were able to, to capitalize. And all of a sudden, the home runs start to dry up a little bit. The Rays did not do a very good job with runners in scoring position. Not only did they not have a very high average with runners in scoring position, but going into last night's ball game, they had given themselves the fewest opportunities, tied for the fewest opportunities as far as, runners in scoring position at bats of any team in the American League. So you don't give yourself opportunities, and you don't do a good job when you do get them.
It's a little looper toward right center, going to drop for a base hit. Malik Smith is on for the second time. And all of that translated into limited offense. And with that, since that time, the Rays have had the 3rd worst winning percentage in the American League, ahead still of only the White Sox and the Tigers. And in large part, a lack of offense was the issue.
Yep. Well, because, you think about the moves made to bolster the bullpen at the trade deadline, and since August the 1st, the Rays have the best bullpen in Major League Baseball, and that was really the area that was earmarked. Tighten up the bullpen, and this team takes off, and unbelievably so, that was not the case.
Dickerson takes a strike, so that'll be, I'm sure, the point of emphasis for Kevin Cash and the Rays as they look toward 2018. I mean, every club tries to tinker and refine and all that, but an offense, and offense by its nature is not always consistent, but you try to make it as consistent as you can. And one would think that would be a major point of emphasis going into the offseason. 0-2 the count on Corey Dickerson. Smith at first. Dickerson has given the Rays their run tonight with a 1st inning home run, his 27th of the year. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Longoria is on deck. Over to first, Smith back in. There's Evan. 0 for 2 tonight. Liner, base hit into center. Smith will round second and go to third. The Rays will have men on the corners in the 5th inning. With 1 out, Longoria headed to the plate, so they're trying to put something together now. Now tonight's Geico great moment on this day in 2011. Evan Longoria's 12th inning walk-off home run clinches the postseason berth for the Rays. September 28th, 2011, coming back from a 7-0 deficit and winning that game 8-7. Now here's Longoria with men at first and third. Pitch is a strike. Little tapper foul through the coaching box at first. 0-2. Well, base hits by Smith and Dickerson with 1 out. First and third. Evan behind, 0-2. Starts to go on a pitch down. 1-2. Evan came into this game 10 out of 29 against Gray, with 5 extra base hits off him among those 10 hits. And now the count will go to 2-2, blocked by Sanchez.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, once again, trying to pick with that breaking ball. Another couple short, that one well short. Just doesn't completely trust this pitch here tonight. And, you know, it's that low out of your hand. Makes for an easy take for the hitter.
Two. Tapper foul. This one in front of Charlie Montoyo and beyond. Well, Rays have had runners aboard in 4 of the first 5 innings, but have scored only on the first inning Dickerson home run. Longoria trying to change that in the 5th. Into the dirt. This one bounding away. Down the line comes Smith. He is safe. The throw to the plate gets loose, and over to third base goes Dickerson. And the Rays pick up their 2nd run. A lot going on right there on the wild pitch. So it's a wild pitch and an error charged to Sanchez on his toss back to the plate that allowed the move up of Dickerson all the way to third.
Well, it looked like they had a chance too to get Malik Smith. A little bit of a hesitation right there, and wasn't that far off the bag, but the throw well behind Sonny Gray. That's where the air comes into play. Boy, sloppy all around, and Sonny Gray, who again jumped out in front of a hitter, has not threatened the strike zone since.
And it's a 3-2 count on Longoria, with Dickerson now at third base. And that is strike 3 called. Longoria caught looking. 2 gone.
A backup hanging slider is how Evan ends up going down in this AB. Trying to go down and away. That ball ends up and in. Can't believe it.
Well, it's Lucas Duda who twice has walked tonight. Dickerson at third with 2 gone. Rays have picked up a run. Ball 1 to Duda. Duda came into this one 3 for his last 35. One and one. Four, 5-1 for New York. 2-4-0 for the Rays. This one is down. Blocked by Sanchez. Astros have put up 3 more in the 4th at Fenway, and they lead 8-2 over the Red Sox, with Houston still batting in the 4th inning.
Well, that's another offense that has come alive. Well, these teams that need to win are winning, and they're a lot of times winning big.
And this one skips to the backstop, and down the line comes Dickerson with another run, and just like that, it's 4-3. So Dickerson comes home.
Well, the Yankees just gift wrapping runs here to the Rays. Another wild pitch, a breaking ball that just gets under the glove and through the 5-hole of Gary Sanchez. We've seen wild pitches, we've seen pass balls. That ball right there at least should have been blocked. Didn't even get a glove on it.
Well, they're going to charge him with a pass ball.
Wow.
How
Yeah.
about that?
Well, listen, that ball was in the air.
And now ball 4. And Duda walks for the 3rd time.
Well, and Sonny Gray pitching around the strike zone, afraid to be in the zone right now. Had a couple of back-to-back innings he put together. Some nice sequences, but since then he's just been picking. Pick.
There's the pass ball.
A little bit late getting down there.
And Larry Rothschild spending some time on the mound. The Rays will have Wilson Ramos, and they have their hottest hitter up there right now. Rays have Ramos and Echeverria behind, and those are the 2 guys who've been swinging pretty good bats. Duda's at first, 2 outs, 2 runs in. The Rays down by a run. Action in the New York bullpen right now. And the pitch swung on. High shot deep to center. Ellsbury back, and it is gone. into center field by Wilson Ramos on the first pitch of the at-bat. And the Rays come to life here in the 5th inning. 2-run shot, number 11 for Ramos. He was not going to be denied that home run to center field. And the Rays take a 5-4 lead.
Well, you got to take advantage of your opportunities, and they have been afforded some here. Sloppy play by the Yankees. Some poorly located pitches by Sonny Gray, that being one right there, a curveball that just hung in the middle of the plate. And that's a strong man. That's well documented. Straightaway center.
Danny Echeverria fouls it back. Strike one. Ramos and the Rays celebrating that shot to center field in the dugout. Pitch up, and Echeverria chases that one. 0-2. Well, a wild pitch, a pass ball, and a 2-run home run. There's a base hit lined into center field for Echeverria. And the Rays continue this inning. Echeverria now 1 for 3 tonight.
There's another pitch right there. Sonny Gray, forever in this inning, pitching around the strike zone, gets Echeverria 0-2, and then comes right down the middle. So just not sharp at all. And you know what? Credit these Rays hitters for taking advantage.
Now Daniel Robertson, the 8th Ray to hit in the inning. Back in at first, Echeverria. And again over there, he's back in. Still no pitches to Daniel Robertson. And here comes Girardi. And that's going to be it. So Girardi has seen enough. With this a 5-4 ball game. Call to the bullpen brought to you by the Florida Lottery. Leaves with a man aboard. Enter your Lotto Fantasy 5 or all new Fast Play ticket in the Florida Lottery Game Day Cash Promotion. You could win a 2018 Lazy Days RV motorhome, over $200,000 in cash prizes, bowl tickets, season tickets, and more. Must be 18 or older to play. Play responsibly. 4 2/3 for Gray tonight. 86 pitches. He leaves allowing 6 hits, 5 runs, couple of home runs in that mix.
If I had a telestrator, I'd circle the 5 walks, because he definitely pitched very tentatively outside of a couple of sequences in the middle part of his outing, very tentatively, and the Rays jumped all over it.
Well, Jonathan Holder, who last worked Sunday against Toronto, pitched a perfect inning with a couple strikeouts, and he's facing Daniel Robertson. And he throws him a fastball for a strike. A 4-run inning so far for the Rays. 2 outs with Adeiny Echeverria, the runner at first base. And Robertson hit by the pitch. And they tried to throw the breaking ball, and he hit him. And that pushes Echeverria into scoring position at second.
And off that left elbow, looked like that was a knuckle curve, and sometimes, because really you only have the thumb and the middle finger with good pressure on that baseball, the index finger, just the tip, and that ball can come squirting out of there, and it does to the Rays' benefit.
That's a fly ball short center, going to drop in front of Ellsbury. Here comes Echeverria in to score, and the Rays add another run. Puello drives home the run, charge to Gray to make it 6-4 Rays. So the Rays have batted around. Puello on for the second time, drives in a run with that little fly ball into short center, falling in front of Ellsbury. Peter Borges up here with men at first and second. So 2 men on, both belonging to Holder. Borges fouls it back. Borges started the inning with a ground ball to short. The Rays have had a big frame. They've scored 5 times. Houston with a 9-2 lead. Still hitting in the top of the 4th at Fenway. One and one, the count on Borges. That's one toward the gap in left center field. Gardner on the run. It's going to be over his head. It won't hops the wall. Robertson scores. Puello crosses the plate. It's a 3-base hit for Borges. 2 more runs are home for the Rays, and now it's 8-4. Borges driving in 2 with his 3rd triple of the year. And out comes Joe Girardi once again. So 3 hitters faced by Holder. He has not gotten anybody out, and he will depart now following this triple by Peter Borges. Robertson and Puello scoring on the triple by Borges. Another call to the bullpen, brought to you by the Florida Lottery. baseball on Fox Sports Sun, brought to you by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. A 7-run inning here in the 5th for the Rays. Ties the season's high, dating back into the middle of May at Boston. Station Shreve, the new pitcher, and the bunt attempt by Malik Smith. Malik's singled and scored earlier in the inning. Is 2 for 3. The Rays with Peter Borges, his triple made it a 7-run inning and an 8-4 Rays lead.
Well, Joe Girardi just looking for anybody to end this inning. When you think about what the Astros are doing to the Red Sox, you think about the Yankees had this game in order. They were adding on to their lead. Seemingly Sonny Gray had settled down, and complete implosion.
Too high with that pitch. 1-2. Pitch coming in on him, and he fouls it. Third pitcher of the inning. And that's a strike. The upper reaches of the zone. So the Rays completed a 7-run inning. They got a 2-run blast from Wilson Ramos. His 11th home run of the year. And for the second time this year, the Rays explode for a 7-run inning. They lead this game now 8-4. Coverage of baseball presented by T-Mobile. And what about the Minnesota Twins making their first postseason appearance since 2010, clinching the second wild card? And they kind of backed into that after a run that positioned them in the lead for that second wild card spot. And they lost again today 5-2 to the Indians.
Today felt like a concession game. After they clinch, you run out that other lineup and you face Carlos Carrasco, who's on top of his game. But I'll tell you, you read some interesting things about this team when they, at the trading deadline, they flipped Jaime Garcia here to the Yankees, and they traded their closer, Kinsler, to Washington. And, you know, obviously guys in the clubhouse were not very happy, but you had some leaders down there, Brian Dozier, Joe Mauer, Paul Molitor addressed the team and said, hey guys, we can't control any of that, but what we can control is what this group here in this room does. And all they did was go out and make the playoffs.
You know, that's a comment that is akin to what we heard from Alex Cobb earlier when we chatted with him tonight in the 3rd inning. I love those comments because that's what gets it done. And Paul Molitor, look, you guys take care of business yourselves, control what you can control, and make sure you do.
Yeah, no finger pointing. You know, there was no crying. Well, the front office didn't do anything for us. In fact, the front office, you could make the case they hurt us.
Yeah.
Didn't matter. You know what I mean? Yeah. You talk about leadership. You talk about that comes from the manager, comes from some of the veterans down in that clubhouse. And you go get the job done.
Well, here's the last thing that Tommy Hunter wanted to do with the Rays coming off a 7-run top of the 5th, and now with an 8-4 lead, walking Brett Gardner to begin the bottom of the 5th to get to Aaron Judge.
I don't think Tommy Hunter's been in a ball game in the 5th inning since he was a starter. I mean, this is early. He's usually the 8th inning guy that we see, but obviously the matchups and the way it's going to be played tonight by Kevin Cash.
Gardner is walked, Judge up there, Sanchez behind him. And there's a strike.
Well, Kevin Cash realizing how important it is after you have a big offensive inning like the Rays just had to throw up a 0 right away. And the top of the order coming up for the New York Yankees, don't even allow them a thought of getting back in this game.
1-1 the count on Judge. Hunter making his first appearance in this series. The Rays have been into that bullpen significantly. Now ball 2 blocked by Ramos, 2-1. Hunter was last in a game on Saturday when the Rays won that 9-6 ball game. It was against the Orioles in Baltimore, and that is a strike call to take care of Judge. Well, that's the first out.
They got him a nice cutter right there on the outside corner. Nothing that Aaron Judge could do about it. Perfectly placed. 96, and look at that little movement to it. I'll tell you, he's got a big arm, and it has not slowed down a bit this season.
Here's Gary Sanchez. He's grounded out and struck out. Rays overload the left side. Oh, and he is hit by that pitch. Sanchez hit by the first pitch from Hunter. Boy, he's feeling that. It was in the mid-90s.
It looked like a cutter that just backed up on Tommy Hunter. He never got all the way out in front. Usually very good with that pitch. That ball right off the fingertips. That even may have been just a regular fastball, but it got loose. Nothing intentional by any stretch. But boy, 95 catching the back of your shoulder. That's solid. He didn't mean that.
Well, a walk and a hit batter now. 1 out with 2 men on. Didi Gregorius 0 for 2 tonight. Fly ball to left and a line drive to center. Well, the Yankees trying to build an inning in the bottom of the 5th after the Rays scored 7 in the top of the frame. And a cut and a miss, strike one. Challenged him up right there. And by him. 0-2. Houston and Boston completed 4 innings with the Astros leading 9-2. And Houston right back at it in the 5th inning. Carlos Correa has opened with a base hit, so he's aboard. Two strikes the count on Gregorius. Ground ball, knocked down. Robertson gets the out at second. Tried to backhand it. Gardner goes to third. Sanchez forced Robertson to Echeverria, so the Rays get the second out of the inning. Gregorius reaches on what turns out to be a fielder's choice.
Nice job by Daniel Robertson to stay with it. That ball in and out of the glove, but no panic. Go ahead and barehand it. Nice little option pitch to Echeverria. Pick up that second out.
Well, it's Starlin Castro. 2 home runs in the series, 1 each night. He's walked and grounded to third tonight. Slider down and away. Rays and the Yankees wrapping up this series and the season series. Two balls, no strikes. There's a big cut and a miss. 2-1.
Well, you understand the desire to really get after a pitch, but the bigger and longer the swing gets against really good velocity, your chances for success go way down. You got to be short and quick to that baseball. Let that velocity do the work itself.
And now 2-2.
I will say that you do have to swing a little harder than that.
Well, and we've seen Hunter with that cutter and even the fastball get a little life on it.
We've seen him just recently at 99. He's got a big arm, and like I said, it's
going to be a foul ball out of play.
For all the work that he's gotten in this year, you've seen no dip in the velocity, or quite frankly, the effectiveness. He's been pretty solid for the Rays all season long. Better than solid.
Gave up the walk to Gardner. Struck out Judge. He hit Sanchez. Got the force at second on the ball hit by Gregorius. First and third. 2 outs in the 2-2. Runner goes off first, and the pitch is fouled away. That one at 98. Yankees had Gregorius on the move. Faria worked 3 innings. Chihue Hu was in there 1 inning, gave up 1 hit. That was the home run by Bird. Made it 4-1 at the time. It's now 8-4 Rays. There's one foul right back. 97 again. The Rays have taken the lead, battling to get through the 5th and prevent the Yankees from putting anything back up on the board. Ground ball, shortstop, Echeverria off balance to first, safe. The one-off throw to first, not in time. The run scores. Gardner crosses the plate. It's 8-5.
Boy, credit that to Starlin Castro and the hustle up the line. Echeverria in ranging to his right, just couldn't get enough on the throw. Not a whole lot that he could have done there. He's throwing that ball off the foot sidearm, floats a little bit, and that long bounce allowed Castro to get in there.
Now Greg Bird with 2 men on. So the Yankees come right back to get the potential tying run to the plate. Bird fouls it off his foot. Down he goes. Bird homered to right in the 4th inning against who? Facing Hunter in the 5th. Gregorius at second. Castro at first. 0-2 on Bird. The RBI for Castro, driving in Gardner, the 61st run batted in for Castro. And by Bird, a swing through that one. He's out on strikes. 1 run for New York, and we're headed into the 6th. Rays 8, New York 5. Eight to 5, and they accomplished that with a 7-run 5th inning with Longoria at the plate. The wild pitch got a run home. Pass ball allowed another run to score. That set up the home run to center field off the bat of Wilson Ramos before the inning was over. Cesar Puello would also contribute, driving in a run, dropping this one in front of Ellsbury in center field, and then the triple by Borges drives in 2 more to cap the 7-run inning. Now we go to the 6th. Jason Shreve out there on the hill. First pitch into Dickerson is a strike. Dickerson scored the first run for the Rays with his 27th home run of the year. That came back in the first. So it's 2 runs scored tonight. Down 0-2 right now.
A couple of good off-speed pitches by Shreve. There's a good lefty option here for Joe Girardi. A lot of the guys that we mentioned coming out of that bullpen, all right-handed. Seems to be his go-to lefty. Outside of, well, Chapman to end the game, but you're talking middle bridge guys. And that's what he's looking for right here. Try to throw up some zeros, give his offense a few cracks at trying to climb back into this game. Seeing what the Astros are currently doing to the Red Sox. They need this one.
And that is strike 3 called on the outside edge. Dickerson out number 1 here in the 6th.
And Jerry Lane, one of those umpires that's going to verbalize before he shows it to you, because Gary Sanchez is already throwing that ball down to third before you see the signal.
Yeah, if he's not sure that's a strike, he's going to have to somehow reach out and grab that ball before it goes about halfway down to third.
That better have a string on it. You're right. You don't want to get caught doing that.
Yeah. Strike to Longoria.
Bad enough when you're a pitcher and you take the wrong step towards the dugout and have to retrace your steps, not go chase a ball down.
One and one now to Evan. Two and one. Well, Evans due here in this series. He walked his first time up Tuesday night. And that really has been it. The only time he's been on base. And he's ahead in the count right now, 3-1. Alvarado up in the bullpen. He was in for 2/3 of an inning last night. Longoria ahead of Shreve. He's in there. Struck out Dickerson. Duda's next. Due next anyway. And Plouffe has already moved into the on-deck circle. 3-2 the count on Longoria. Everything way away. And he pops it up. Foul ball. Sanchez out to make the catch. And now Duda's going to be lifted for the pinch hitter. Our pinch-a-penny pinch hitter, Trevor Plouffe. So Duda had walked 3 times tonight. Fouls it back on the year. Plouffe hitting .255 against lefties. Under .200 against right-handed pitching, and hits for the left-handed hitter Duda in the 6th. One and one. Now he's behind. We saw Shreve for 2/3 of an inning in the game last night. He followed Severino. Gave up a hit to Echeverria. Picked up a strikeout when he faced Brad Miller. Now he faces Plouffe, pinch hitting for Duda.
And Plouffe, one of those guys that the Rays brought in, attempting to turn around their fortunes against left-handed pitching, and it really never materialized throughout the course of the season. Try as they might, struggled mightily against lefties, especially lefty starters. Had one of the worst marks in the American League.
Pitch away. Well, the Rays were 18-29 in games started by left-handers.
When you think about the number of left-handers within the division, that's another area of the team that will be scrutinized. And
well, the count is full on Plouffe. Wilson Ramos is on deck. It's a foul out of play. And Plouffe hits one deep to left. That one's going to get out of here. Home run for Plouffe. Pinch hitting for Duda. And the Rays get that run back. Plouffe with a big pinch hit home run here for the Rays. And now it's 9-5. He connects off Shreve.
well, that ball was crushed. We've seen a number of pitches in that at bat. Shreve trying to go away, couldn't get there, so now he's going to try to come in, and he leaves it middle. Just could not get out in front those last few pitches, and he leaves that middle of the plate, and Plouffe with a no-doubter. We've had a couple of those here tonight.
Plouffe's second home run in a Rays uniform. Now Ramos misses the breaker, strike one. Well, Plouffe gave that baby a ride. One and one. Two balls and a strike. Well, Dickerson homered in the first for the Rays. They got a big home run from Ramos in the 7-run fifth inning, and a home run from Plouffe. Pinch hit here in the sixth. There's the count to 3-1 on Ramos.
The Yankee pitching here tonight has been very disjointed. You talk about Sonny Gray and how tentatively he pitched. Jonathan Holder not very good. Chasen Shreve not sharp. And the Rays just continue to capitalize. I mean, this is a team that in the spoiler role now, and that's what they're doing to the Yankees here tonight.
Yep, the Yankees with an opportunity. Houston batting in the sixth inning at Fenway, leading 9-2. New York started the day 3 back of Boston with 4 left to play. And there's ball 4 to Ramos.
He has not been able to get anything away to the right-handed hitters.
Well, and here is Echeverria. Girardi on the top step, and he's headed to the mound. So Shreve will depart after giving up the home run and now the walk. Another call to the bullpen brought to you by the Florida Lottery. The Rays lead back to 4. Light up your night with your favorite Sea Dog Raymond. Come on out to the game Sunday when the Rays take on the Orioles. And all kids 14 and under receive a Raymond Nightlight presented by Duke Energy while supplies last. Visit RaysBaseball.com. New pitcher for the New York Yankees, their 4th of the night, Ben Heller. His last appearance was Sunday in the New York loss to Toronto. Here's Danny Echeverria. First pitch is a strike, a fastball away from him. Echeverria with a single and a run scored. That came in the 7-run 5th. One and one. Echeverria tried to hold up but could not. And that puts him behind in the count, 1-2.
Heller's got some pretty good reach. Tall, lanky sidearm motion, good fastball at 95. That breaking ball 82. These Rays hitters getting their first look.
And a big cut and a miss. Strike 3. So Plouffe with a pinch hit home run in the 6th inning gives the Rays an additional run. We'll take that into the bottom of the 6th inning with the score. Tampa Bay 9 and New York 5. Moving on to the bottom of the 6th inning. MLB.com at bat is your #1 mobile app for live Rays baseball. Stay connected with the fully customizable experience. Get Rays home screen icons and app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat. Trevor Plouffe will stay on to play first after pinch hitting for Lucas Duda. Jose Alvarado, the new pitcher, and he will face Chase Headley, the DH, here to begin the bottom of the 6th.
Well, he's at almost a strikeout an inning, has given up just 1 home run while holding opponents to a .215 average. He of the 98 to 100 mile an hour fastball, deadly breaking ball.
Chase Headley batting right-handed against Alvarado. Headley, a couple of fly balls, 1 to right, 1 to center. 1 strike to count on him now. Brian McCann has homered for Houston in the 6th to make it 10-2 Houston over the Red Sox. Up the right side, back into the seats, and it's 1-2. Alvarado was the 3rd pitcher, 3rd of 5 last night employed by the Rays. Still 1-2 to Headley. Faria worked 3 for the Rays, gave up 3 runs, 4 hits. Struck out 2, walked 2, touched for 2 home runs. Who was in for 1 inning, gave up 1 hit and a run. That came on a home run. Hunter 1 inning, 1 hit, a walk and a run, hit batter and 2 strikeouts. And that is strike 3 on Headley. Down and into him. Alvarado picks up the strikeout.
That hard breaking ball, and I'll tell you, he gets a lot of depth with it, throws it very, very hard to go along with that big plus fastball. And he is a very difficult at bat. I don't care if you're left-handed, right-handed. He gives you a whole lot to contend with. The key for him is be in the zone consistently, and you'll see that his role continue to grow.
Here's Jacoby Ellsbury. And there's a strike at 99. Ground ball, tough play. Echeverria long throw and off the bag. That's a base hit. He had to retreat to his right. Ellsbury has himself a hit.
Well, everything had to go perfect there for Echeverria because of that retreating. He went back to get a better hop, but then that meant the throw had to be perfectly on line. And if it was, he's going to get Ellsbury, but it pulls Plouffe off the bag and no chance at that point. See, he doesn't even get to step into the throw, but look how it sails on him. And it's a little wide.
Seventh hit for the Yankees. The Rays have 9. Todd Frazier has a hit and 2 at bats. Pitch is down. 2-0. Way upstairs. So now Alvarado losing the strike zone here to Frazier. Behind him 3-0.
Yeah, and this is what we were talking about. Alvarado's stuff is so good, but he's got to keep it in the zone. And these are the instances that you don't want to see. And hopefully he can climb back in here and retire Todd Frazier, but he's certainly put himself in a tough spot at 3-0.
And he finds his zone right there at the bottom. Well, the Rays have had base runners in every inning except the fourth. The Yankees have had base runners in every inning except the third. And that's going to be strike two. The count is full. High pop up right side. Robertson angles out. That's Smith in. They collide. Smith kept coming, and Robertson made the catch and held on to the baseball.
Well, Robertson was out there early, calling for it early, and maybe couldn't hear Malik Smith coming in. This ball popped up. Nice job by Alvarado to come back. Right there. Another group of guys here on this Rays ball club have not had a lot of time with each other in those positions and almost turned poorly for them. But Daniel Robertson able to hold on. Alex Smith runs into the wall. Now he runs into Daniel Robertson. Nobody's safe out there.
Robertson taking a moment out there in the aftermath of that little collision. Brett Gardner. That's a strike. Stay tuned in the seventh for the Jeep Compass game break. Rich and Arestis will have highlights from around Major League Baseball. Pitch is down. 1-1. A 1-1 count. 1-2. Gardner has been on all three times with a home run and 2 bases on balls. That seems to be a familiar story with him in the season series between the Rays and the Yankees. A little tap. Alvarado, long, strong throw, gets his man at first. He fired that ball across the infield to get Gardner. We go to the 7th. 9-5 Rays. Rays coming in to hit. Alvarado working the bottom of the 6th and making a nice defensive play. Here's what's coming up tomorrow on Rays Live, the pregame show presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Jake Odorizzi will be on the hill, and we will hear from him. The rest of us will break down Logan Morrison's career year. Here we go with David Robertson beginning the 7th inning. Robertson, Puello, and Borges due up against Ben Heller. A pitch too low to Robertson. Robertson hit by a pitch his last time, and he scored a run. Upstairs, 2-0. High pop. Coming in is Gregorius back of the mound. Robertson, the first out. Sonny Gray started, worked 4 2/3, 6 of the runs charged to the starter Gray. 2 runs to Holder and 1 to Shreve. Cesar Puello, he drove in a run and scored a run in the 7-run 5th. Strike the count. 0-2.
Well, that's what the Yankees need. Another option coming out of the pen.
Yeah, really. I mean, good arm to start with, mid-90s with his velocity.
And he gives you a little bit of a deceptive arm angle. Down there to the side, almost a short arm, sidearm. Good breaking ball.
He struck out Echeverria to end the top of the 6th. Now a pop to get Robertson, and Puello checks and made sure he checked.
He did. He put that bat up there like you had a samurai sword. That was a
whatever it takes.
Yeah, that's a nice little pose right there. I'm smelling action film in his future.
He's worked the count to 3-2. He walked in the 2nd inning, then had that base hit to drive in a run and eventually score in the 5th. In between, a pop to the shortstop. And he draws the walk. So that check swing, a pivotal point of that at bat.
Boy, how many walks have the Rays worked tonight after being way down in the count? 0-2, 1-2.
Well, they have 7 walks total now. And you're right, they've had battling at bats up there. Peter Borges tripled in 2 runs in the 5th inning. He takes the breaking ball in for a strike. 1 on, 1 out, top half of inning 7. One and one now. Oh, a line drive and a double play. Caught down there by Bird, who tags first to end the top half of the 7th. take another look at that liner off the bat of Borges that resulted in the double play. Right now, let's head out to Rich and Orestes in the studio for the Jeep Compass game break.
Home runs lead the way in the American League. Runs batted in, he's second. He has the most walks in the American League, and he has scored the most runs in the American League. We saw Altuve with 111. Judges scored, I think, 125.
Yep.
And, you know, I mean, you're talking about some pretty significant offensive categories, and he's first or second in all of them.
So here we go into the bottom of the seventh. Sergio Romo is on the hill for the Rays, and he faces Judge to open the bottom of the inning. First pitch, that's a strike. And with the breaking ball. Various speeds and various locations of that breaking ball for Romo. This is with it here. It's 1-1. Alvarado worked an inning, gave up a hit, picked up a strikeout. And now Romo in here in the seventh. High popper. It's going to carry out a play. back at the first base dugout. How about this breakout for Aaron Judge? Lefty and righty. Figure that one out. 298 against right-handed pitching, 232 against lefties.
Well, think about this. Where have the Rays really exploited Aaron Judge? Is down and away. That's glove side fastball and glove side breaking ball. Sometimes that's not too easy for a righty to get it all the way out there. And if you leave it middle in, he's gonna go, you know, cattywampus on you. He's gonna get you pretty good. Now a lefty arm side working him down and away. You got guys that can command their pitches and aren't going to pitch him in very often from the left side. It makes sense. Maybe not that much sense. That's a huge discrepancy, but you can see how it could happen. You know, right-handers, the game is not, you know, we talk about the fact that I think that, well, I don't think, I know that the pure stuff, fastball, breaking ball, it's the best that this game has ever seen. I also think that pitchability may be the worst that this game's ever seen. And command, you know, you're just getting it to areas and quadrants instead of being able to hit corners like you used to see a whole lot of.
And there is ball 4. He laid off that pitch wide. Lead-off walk.
You're trying to power those fastballs, you know, to the outside corner, down and away from Aaron Judge, and you don't get it there. He doesn't miss too many, and he's let, as we saw with that home run to right field here tonight, he doesn't have to catch it clean. So much leverage and so much power.
Well, here is Gary Sanchez. 0 for 2, hit by a pitch his last time. No ball, no strikes. Jennings up in the bullpen. Romo worked an inning Tuesday and does not get the call down there on that pitch. Pretty close right there, and it's 2-0. Romo worked the 6th inning of Wednesday's game. He faced Judge, and Sanchez in that outing got Judge on a ground ball to third and Sanchez on a fly ball to center. They are the first two men he faces here in the 7th tonight. That's a strike. 2-1. Faria for 3, Who for 1, Hunter 1, Alvarado 1, now Romo. That will be strike 2. Nobody out with a man aboard. Ground ball. Echeverria goes to second out there. First, they got them both. 6-4-3 started by Echeverria. He got the big man coming into second, Judge, and Sanchez, the catcher, on the backside at first.
Boy, and you had 2 long throws too, because Echeverria had to move a little bit to his right, so a longer throw to Daniel Robertson, who then had to fire it over and try to get Sanchez. And you see just a little delay getting the ball out of the glove, but it didn't matter. 2 pretty efficient turns there once the ball left the hand of Echeverria. He got it there with enough on it, and Robertson jumped on his throw as best he could, and that's 2 quick outs for the Rays.
Yeah, and a nice job by Robertson. He's got Judge coming in there.
You know, with those slide rules, you could have the Buffalo. You could have anybody coming in there. You know that you're going to be okay. At least in theory. I mean,
Yeah,
they can always cross over, but still, the new slide rules have made it so much easier to turn a double play for a second baseman.
Gregorius fouls it for a strike.
I mean, when was the last time you saw a second baseman come to the bag, take a throw, and literally get flipped?
Yeah, I think it's just a challenge to see around Judge, just to clear some kind of lane to throw the ball.
And that's why you catch it. The second baseman is taught, you get that ball turned and you throw. If he stays up and takes it in the teeth, that's on him. You make the throw to the bag. He better get down.
That's fouled back, 0-2.
Well, here it is. He's bearing down. He's just going to turn and throw. Yeah, and it's the job of the runner to get himself down. He knows what's at stake and knows that second baseman is not going to throw around him.
Look how close that play was at first.
Interior of the glove. Clear shot of it there.
It's a great shot right there. Upstairs, 1-2. Foul ball back and out of play down the third base side. You know, Echeverria on that double play, he had trouble initially getting a handle on that throw. But I'm not sure we know many shortstops who will start that and get a double play there. He did. Gregorius takes the pitch wide. 2-2.
Well, that's what makes him one of the elite in the American League. And he has made play after play, and even when things haven't gone particularly right for Echeverria, his ability to adjust and maneuver and still make something out of nothing.
And a cut and a miss. That takes care of Gregorius. We're through 7 innings in New York. The Rays lead this one 9-5. On to the 8th. Rays have 9 runs, 9 hits, a 7-run 5th. The big inning for the Rays. Dickerson, Ramos, and Plouffe have homered for the Rays. Gardner, Judge, and Bird for New York. And here's Malik Smith taking ball 1 to open the 8th. Smith is 2 for 4 with a run scored. 1-1. 32,933 here tonight. Smith takes the pitch down, 2-1. Gallegos up in the bullpen. Two and two. Well, the count is full. There's Corey Dickerson on deck. This one over the mound, and right there is Gregorius to get Smith, who is fleet of foot, as you know, but he is thrown out by Gregorius. Eldorado Furniture invites you to settle in with us tomorrow. The Rays are back home. They'll take on the Orioles, and our coverage begins at 6:30 on Fox Sports Sun. Jake Odorizzi will be on the hill for the Rays in the opening game of the final series of the year. Corey Dickerson opened the scoring in this game with a home run. The pitch is a strike. Singled and scored in the 5th inning. A ball and a strike. Ben Hiller on the mound. He was part of the Andrew Miller deal with Cleveland. Dickerson is behind him in the count, 1-2. A little tapper foul just to the left of the plate.
Corey Dickerson there actually heading towards first base as if he swung and missed, and getting the foul tip call there. Interesting. Another changeup by Heller. Yeah, he did get a hold of that. That was one of the few times you could see the foul tip. You could see the ball change motion and head down. I guess we shouldn't have even wondered. He hits balls that bounce.
Yeah, all over. That hitting zone for him is top to bottom.
Well, and that's what's going to be interesting. Is he going to tighten that up at all coming into next season? Because that was exploited in the second half of, after the All-Star break. These opposing pitchers realizing that his zone is top to bottom, up and down, in and out. They started pitching him that way, and he continued to swing at those pitches out of the zone. Not nearly the same amount of success as he had early in the season.
A ground ball to second, grabbed by Castro. He throws out Dickerson. So a couple of ground ball outs in the 8th. And here's Evan Longoria headed to the plate. Evan 0 for 4 tonight. Pitch is outside, 1-0. One ball, one strike. Now that puts him behind in the count. And Longoria out on strikes, so 3 up, 3 down, go the Rays. Bottom of the 8th coming up. 9-5 Tampa Bay. Three home runs, and the Yankees have hit 3. We move to the bottom of the 8th. Dan Jennings is the new Rays pitcher, number 6 of the night. 76th appearance on the year for Jennings.
Been a busy man. 60 2/3 innings, 49 strikeouts. He's trying to close this game out. A lot of bullpen use.
Starlin Castro, second baseman, to lead off. He shoots it foul up the left field side. Castro tonight drove in a run with a base hit, an infield hit in the 5th. Also walked, and in between grounded out to third. 27-year-old infielder. Castro with 16 home runs this year, hit 21 a year ago. And a little late on that fastball up. 0-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. How about this for Jennings? 76 appearances.
We said he was a busy man, and we weren't lying. Chicago, then over here with Tampa Bay.
And a reach there by Castro, enough to make contact, foul it off. Correa worked the front 3, then an inning piece from Hunter, Alvarado, Romo. Now Jennings facing his first man. And a cut and a miss. That takes care of Castro to begin the bottom of the 8th. A strikeout pitch from Jennings.
Showing some good life, 93 miles an hour. The ball, he just challenged him with it middle in.
Greg Bird lifted. Matt Holliday will hit for him. Pitch is a ball. Bird homered in the 4th inning, and now Holliday up there to swing the bat. So 1-1 count. Gallegos continues to throw in the bullpen for New York. Jazz Rowe up for the Rays. It's 2-1. Holliday started Tuesday's game as the DH. Had a base hit, drove in a run. And he's ahead in the count now. 1 out, base is empty. Headley is on deck. Ground ball chopped to third. Longoria across to Plouffe. Strike out and a ground out. And a reminder, start your day with First Things First. Weekday mornings on FS1 with Chris Carter and Nick Wright. First Things First, weekdays at 6:30 a.m. Eastern, 5:30 a.m. Central on FS1. Chase Headley looks at strike 1. Fastball. Fired that in at 94. 33-year-old infielder. Spent a lot of time at third, a lot at first recently. DHing in this game. It's 1-1. It's 2-1. That's a foul ball, gloved by Longoria. 2-2. Well, we're in the bottom of the 8th. The Rays put together their second 7-run inning of the year. They had one earlier against Boston. They scored 7 tonight with 11 men coming to the plate in the 5th inning. Down to first, handled by Plouffe, unassisted, and 1-2-3 go the Yankees. We're headed into the 9th inning with the Rays holding this lead 9-5. Houston has a 12-2 lead in the top of the 9th inning over the Red Sox at Fenway. And Giovanni Gallegos enters the game. His 16th appearance of the year with a record of 0-1. Tyler Austin has entered the game at first base. Bird lifted for the pinch hitter, and Austin in the game now at first. The Rays will have Trevor Plouffe to lead off. Plouffe, Ramos, and Echeverria due up.
Pinch hit home run last time he came out. That was after the Yankees got a run to cut the Rays lead to 8-5. Get that run right back in a timely manner.
1-0 the count to Plouffe.
I'll tell you what, this could be, and you never know how this season would end out anyway.
There's a line drive in and out of the glove of Gregorius. He'll pick it up and throw to first for the out.
Handcuff piece right there. Good recovery by Gregorius. And you don't know how this game's going to turn out. But boy, this could be the one that the Yankees let get away. You know, you've got a team. The Yankees have won, what, their last 6 in a row? 11 out of 12, 10 out of them, whatever it is here at Yankee Stadium.
Yep.
And you've got a team that is on the verge of being swept. You're up 4-1. Your starter, Sonny Gray, has settled into the game and had a couple of nice back-to-back innings. Meanwhile, Houston's all over Boston, and they continue to be all over Boston. And all of a sudden, the Rays, in one fell swoop, in one big inning, turn this game right on its head.
Wilson Ramos takes the pitch for a strikeout. A 7-run 5th. I mean, if the Yankees make that lead hold up and Houston finishes off the Red Sox, now it could be a 2-game deficit. We'll see how all this turns out. But
yeah, Boston's going to have to score 10 in the bottom of the 9th. They're getting destroyed. And not only that, but you imagine the panic up in Boston if it goes down to, you know, playing the Astros, who are playing for that home field advantage.
It's a ball, 2-strike count on Ramos. Foul out of play, still 1-2. Well, Ramos got a big blast to center field in the 5th inning. A 2-run home run after being denied a grand slam home run in the first game of this series. When Hicks made that catch out there, turned what appeared to be a potential grand slam into a sacrifice fly. A little roller right side. Castro surrounds it and makes the play. Ramos is the second out. Gallegos throwing a couple ground balls in the 9th inning. And Danny Echeverria makes his way to the plate. Echeverria singled and scored in the big 5th for the Rays. There's a fastball up. He attacks and misses. Strike 1. Upstairs. 1-1. Two balls and a strike. Rays with 9 runs, 9 hits. Yankees 5 runs, 7 hits. Two and 2 now. And it's popped up. Down from first. Austin in foul territory. Grabs it, and we go to the bottom of the 9th. Rays lead 9-5. Series in the Big Apple, north of Manhattan and the Bronx. So the Rays and the Yankees move into the bottom of the 9th inning. Aerial footage right there over Manhattan. Chaz Rowe will enter the game. Dan Jennings worked 1 inning and picked up a strikeout. And so Chaz Rowe, with this 9-5 lead on the hill, makes his 11th big league appearance this year.
Well, we've seen Chaz Rowe with a very good slider, able to command that pitch, and it's got so much break. He can start it in off the plate to the right-handers and take it to the middle inside part of the plate, sweep it off. Lefties are going to get the sinker and the slider. It's a nice combo, and he's another intriguing piece, part of this bullpen. It'll be interesting to see how he progresses going into next spring.
Jacoby Ellsbury, and the pitch is up to him, a fastball. Well, to this point, I think what the Rays have seen of him, they are definitely intrigued. The ground ball fair, picked up by Plouffe, who steps on the bag. 1 away here in the bottom of the 9th.
That's a big reason why right there. Chaz Rowe, the ability to go get the ground ball in this day and age of everybody looking to lift and get the ball airborne, extra base hits, home runs, all of that. You get some guys that have some good sink on the fastball, good breaking ball where they can keep it down and get guys to pound it into the ground and become very, very valuable.
Aaron Hicks will hit for Todd Frazier now. Well, Frazier lifted in the bottom of the 9th, and Hicks steps in. He goes after the first one and belts it deep into right center field, and that's out of here. Well, Hicks on that first pitch belts a home run to make it 9-6. Boy, that didn't take long. He came off the bench swinging.
I think Aaron Hicks is serving notice. Listen, he hit leadoff the first night, got moved down to the 9 hole in game 2, out of the lineup in game 3, and he's like, hey, Joe Girardi, this is what you're missing.
Yeah, he homered last night out of the number 9 spot. There's Gardner. That's a strike. Well, it's 9-6 now. Gardner is homered, twice has walked. Out pitcher first the last time up there. 7 home runs in this game now. It's 1-1. Alex Colomé busy down in the bullpen for the Rays. And that's 2-1. Aaron Judge is on deck. We're back top side of the order here. 1 out, a run in. Gardner at the plate, Judge on deck. And it's 3-1.
We do not want to mess around up here. Back-to-back big-time power and a guy at the plate in a nice count who's already homered tonight.
Rowe throws a strike. 3-2. And strike 3 called. He got him on a fastball. Gardner caught looking, and that's out number 2.
Boy, just completely frozen. Chaz Rowe doesn't even try to get sneaky with this one. He just uses the middle of the plate, and no complaint there for Brett Gardner. He knew it the way he yanked that bat.
Well, the hitter is Aaron Judge. Judge is homered and walked in between, a fly ball to center and a strikeout looking. Did he go? Not that time on the slider. And a high popper, short right. Smith in, is there, makes the catch, and lays out on his back to hold on to that one. And this game is over. The Rays have won it 9-6 over the New York Yankees. A 7-run fifth takes care of that. So the Rays will now head home for the final weekend series against Baltimore. For Brian Anderson and Alex Cordry, Dwayne Stantz, hope you've enjoyed the telecast. Rays